Wish I could feel what I can't see. Float like a butterfly, scream like a banshee. Something's hiding in the pantry.
Let's open our books to the last thing Niki bitched about. Are we all ready? Yes, we're all set? Okay, good. Now, let's get to bitching. Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing another chat spat. I really wanted to just sit down and talk with you guys about some things that have been on my mind and some things that I've seen that I have my own opinions on and I want your guys' opinions on as well. Chat spat is a series that I've done for a very, very long time and it has evolved. It used to be more like what you see drama channels do, and I wanted it to be a little bit more positive, but still open discussion on negative things too, because that's just life. If we want to vent, we're going to vent. I just don't want hate and that, you know, I don't want you guys to watch my video and come away from it with a negative thought or feeling, you know, so we're trying hard not to do that and still maintain what Chat Spat is all about, which is women, men, whomever, sitting down, listening to each other, having a conversation, talking about certain topics. So I have 3 topics I want to talk about today, so let's just go ahead and jump into that and see what we're going to be bitching about. Before we go ahead and do that though, please subscribe if you have not. We have so much fun on here with affordable makeup and beauty, lifestyle, kids, all of it, motherhood. I'm over 30, you know, all of that. If that's all you, if that's all something you're cool with, poke that subscribe button and stay for a while. We do have a lot of fun. And give this video a thumbs up. I almost lost my train of thought. Give this video a thumbs up. It gets my videos out there to more people. And if you have any questions on anything that I'm wearing, my nails, my clothes, my jewelry, makeup, all of that will be down below in the description box for you guys. So, okay, we can go back to it now. The first thing that I want to talk about is family vloggers, and I always assumed, and this is why you shouldn't assume anything, really truly you shouldn't, I always assumed that all the negativity and the guru gossiper trolls and everything like that, all of that was more a beauty community thing. I knew that trolls were everywhere. People leave hate comments on any kind of niche or community in the YouTube world, online, Facebook, whatever. Twitter's probably the worst, but Facebook's a good contender. You know, I know that, but I thought that the real bad stuff was more towards beauty community members, and I didn't understand it, and I've talked to you guys about it for so long, 7 years now, maybe more. And I didn't understand why other communities were so humble and kind and supportive and everything like that. But when I took my break from the beauty community, I couldn't even watch beauty videos. That's how bad I needed to break away from it for that moment. But I needed something else to do online, and you know, that's been my life for so long, so I did want to keep somewhat into the loop, into a circle, but I needed it to bring me happiness and joy. So I started watching family vloggers. I had already watched a couple. I'd been subscribed to a few for a very long time, and it all started with the Shaytards, and I watched them. They were the first people I subscribed to when I made a YouTube account. So I have a couple that I've always watched and never really thought much about it, and then when I took that break, I really got into it, and it started with cleaning videos, because I needed something that would motivate me to clean, because that's the first thing that happens when I go spiraling like this with my bipolar, is I will stop cleaning, showering, all of that stuff. So I wanted to be better and be in a better mindset, so I started watching Clean With Me videos, which got me pumped. My house was sparkling all the time, and still is. If I don't find the motivation, I go to Clean With Me videos. Very good tip if any of you are the same way, if you need motivation just in general, because it can be very hard sometimes to just get up and do the dishes. Ugh, I hate dishes.
You know what? Fuck this. You all suck. I quit.
But with that, most of those people who do Clean With Me videos are family vloggers. So I have more subscriptions to family vlogging channels than I do beauty channels. And I started noticing things that would come up on the recommendation side of YouTube when you're watching videos that were all about attacking family vloggers. And then I I watch Shannon Rose, and I watch her vlog channel more than anything, and that's a family vlog channel. And she actually came out with a video about a guy, it's like the dad's podcast or something like that, I'm not sure, but a man who is so completely anti-family channels. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper just to see if it was this one specific guy or if it was like a thing. It's a thing. Like, there are people who want every single person who shows their children online to be, like, completely written off of the world, of YouTube. They want them off. They think that they are exploiting their children for money, and they think that they're forcing their kids into this. And this has been something that, you know, it's not like the worry is not justified, because there was one, I don't even remember what they were called, but there was a family where they grew their popularity by basically abusing their children, doing pranks on them, or letting them do pranks on each other that were physical and abusive, and even mentally abusive. And they actually, I'm pretty sure that they got removed from YouTube by YouTube because it was so bad. So there are channels who take it too far. And then there's another obvious to that, is that showing children on the internet is forever. And while you see your little girl who's 1 bending down to get into the sandbox, there's somebody behind the computer that's probably looking at that as, oh my gosh, that child's bending over. Do you know what I mean? Like, they sexualize it, either because they're a predator or because they know that the predators are out there, and they get very angry, you know? So it doesn't come, I don't think that this rage and this dislike and this movement comes from a bad place, but I do think that everything you see online, you have to know, for the most part, it's driven by views and money. Like, the drama of it all will bring in views and money. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. If it hurt their channel in any way, if negativity or fighting or ranting or any of that would hurt their channel in any way, people wouldn't do it. So you have to, like, ding, light bulb, you know, keep a lot of this in your mind as you're watching these things. And I've just decided that when I watch it, unless I see actual video proof of something, I don't really care about it. You know, let people live. But I wanted to know your guys' opinions on it. Do you think that family vloggers are all bad? Do you think that there's just some that go too far and others that are fine? Do you like watching family vlogs? Because what I feel personally is I love it. I love watching family vloggers because it gives me motivation as a mother, because I'm a stay-at-home mom of raising 3 children and 2 of them that are special needs. So when I watch family vlogs, their life, their struggles helps me be okay with my struggles, you know, and it helps me vent on the inside watching them vent on the outside. And it's actually become something that is very special and important part of my life, is watching these family vloggers, because it can change my whole mindset. If I've had a stressful day, I sit down and I turn on Shannon Rose's vlogs and watch her play with snow, watch them go through their garden, you know, and it's actually something that's very calming to me. And along with Colleen Ballinger, when she makes vlogs and she shows Flynn and, you know, or her nieces and nephews, like, it calms me. It soothes me because I'm a parent, you know, but I do know why. I see both sides of the coin, so to speak. And there are people that exploit their children, you know, there definitely are. But there are also people who are truly, genuinely just trying to share their life and make people happy or help or do something for someone out there in the world. Make your mark out in the world because you're so inverted, even as a family, that, you know, that you want to know that you matter in some sense. So what do you guys think? I know that there are certain channels that should be like flick right off of YouTube. We all know that. When it comes to family channels, but I think that family vloggers are not all across the board bad people, and I think that it's not all across the board exploiting children. So leave me your thoughts and comments down below, and let's move on to another topic to bitch about. Alright, this next topic, my cat is literally sitting right next to me. He's right here, right next to me. He's been acting a little weird. He's between 15 and 18 years old. I think his sunset years are moving on, and I'm just hoping that he doesn't pass before my daughter gets home this summer. He's just been acting a little weird. So if you hear him meowing or just doing his thing, poor guy. Anyway, now another thing I want to talk about is this trend I see, and it's been this way since I could remember. I've always seen people use this in such a lax way, and it's gotten me so deep. And in order, I have to like backtrack. This is gonna be such a long video. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear just long videos, but I have to backtrack back to when it first started for me. And what I'm talking about is anxiety. And I remember the very exact day that I got anxiety, that I was introduced to what anxiety was. And that was when I was 6 years old. 6 years old. And the anxiety hit me so hard that I got stress hives, which we didn't know for a long time were stress hives. I went through a lot of needles, blood draws as a 6-year-old, terrified of needles. I took experimental medication that had disastrous results, and it all came down to the fact that I was just so anxious for no reason, because I wasn't being molested, I wasn't being physically abused, I had a great home life, there was nothing wrong with me, but I was just, my body was on constant flight or fight response, and it was coming out in stress hives all over my body, and I lived with that until I was 14 years old, and it scarred me in ways that I can't even imagine, because even people who have normal anxiety, they can somewhat do something to make it not seem like they do. It's a more internal thing. They can fidget with something, or they can shake their leg, or they can do something to where it's not that evident that you have anxiety, that you're upset or you're feeling anxious. Mine came out in like big hives on my lips, so my lip would blow up. Or my eyes would close shut, like I had 2 black eyes without the blackness. Or they'd be on the bottom of my feet and I wouldn't be able to walk. And I got called a duck and a penguin a lot of the times, and people didn't know. And I'd get them the size of my back on my back. And then when they would disappear, it would feel like there were welts where they once were, without any welts that were actually there. It just felt like that. And so I had a very, very physical response to anxiety. And now today in my adult life, it's only gotten so much worse by trauma after trauma after trauma during my teenage time. And even into adulthood, I guess I could say. Just so many traumas back to back to back. And I see people online in my life, my day-to-day, when I'm in the grocery store, anywhere, I see people like, oh my god, I have so much anxiety, and you know, they'll be talking back and forth, and it comes out to, they don't have anxiety, they just don't want to do something, and they're made to do it, an obligation, and they're calling it anxiety, and you so freely say, oh, I have such bad anxiety, I'm so anxious, or it's just become this trend that has now made it so if you actually have this true anxiety, the true anxiety, and if you do, you know what I mean. The anxiety where you physically see the walls closing in, things go dark, you can't breathe, you cannot stop whatever is happening. Like, death is imminent, and you don't know why. And so you'll know, and it's so offensive, because now if someone like that tries to get help from a doctor, if you just go to your doctor and you say, I have anxiety and it's coming into my life, they don't take it as seriously. If you try to explain to your family or your friends or anybody about how your anxiety, like, I can't go to your birthday party or this or that because of my anxiety. They're like, seriously, one day you can't just be like kosher, cool, you know, cool as a cucumber. And it's like, no, I can't. Not unless I'm medicated enough to be slurring my words. And that's not how I want to be seen in a social setting. So it's it's very hard for me. It's something that I'm very passionately angry about, because it seems to be getting more and more and more like that, where people are just making anxiety a trend, when for people like me and a lot of people that I know who have crippling anxiety, it is so frustrating to see that, and it's so detrimental to us and us getting help. And it's so, like, you are not validated by anybody, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate that it has become such a trend to be anxious and to have anxiety. It's so offensive, and I am not somebody who's like, I'm offended, like how society is today. I that's not me. So if I am offended by something because I am such an easygoing person, I'm offended. And this is something where, like, I struggle every single day of my life. And I don't want to go too deep into it, because I will, like, I have false lashes on. There will be no Misty crying. But I struggle so hard. If you guys even knew a fraction. And, I mean, I've given you guys, you know, some here and there of what's going on. I've showed you on Instagram and my stories of me, like, in the middle of processing coming down off of a panic attack. But if you knew the struggle, and then on top of it, the depression, because you know that what your body's doing is, you know, you're safe in here. You know you're safe. You know you're an adult and this should not be happening. You know you're an adult, so you should not feel scared like that. But you do, and you can't stop it. The depression, the anger, the confusion, all of it. Like, if people knew what true anxiety was, they would never say that shit. Never. So I want to know if there's a time in your life, if you do have generalized anxiety disorder or above, if there was a time that you felt invalidated because of the trend of anxieties, or if you were just kind of like brushed aside by a doctor because of it, people didn't seem to take it as a valid enough excuse for missing out on things, or just the fact that we do miss out on things. We miss out on so much, because at this point in my life, I am now struggling with agoraphobia because of the pandemic. And I thought that we could finally get past it and stuff, because I can't do the masks. It gives me panic attacks. But COVID's just getting worse, and people don't like to realize that. But I mean, if you watch the news, it's worse, it's bad, everything's bad. So I get so offended by it, and I wonder if people who have anxiety like me, if there even is people like me that have it as bad as I do, if you've ever encountered that, if you've ever felt so invalidated or so angered by the trend of saying that you have anxiety, or it's, you know, anxious or something like that. I mean, anxiousness, anxiety is normal to a point. Like, if you're about to perform something big, it's normal to be anxious, you know, and then that goes away or that calms down. For people like me, it never calms down. I have to be highly medicated for my flight or fight response to stop. And I don't know why it is like that, and I probably do need to dig deeper neurologically and with therapy, but that's a whole nother story. So you guys let me know what you think about it being a trend, if it's ever interfered with your life. Just your story on anxiety and everything like that would be really wonderful to know about, because I have been feeling quite alone lately, and I know that there's a lot of us that are on here because we have so much anxiety or some kind of disorder, mental disorder, physical disorder, whatnot, that there's a reason why we're on YouTube to begin with, right? So I would love to hear you guys' stories and your thoughts down below in the comments. And let's move on to the last and final thing to bitch about. Now, this is just something that I've noticed, and I want to know if you guys have noticed the same thing. There are so many ads on YouTube now. Is there not? Like, I physically make it so, Because you can go in when you make a video and put in your own ads if you want to. Like here, put an ad break, here, put an ad break. I don't do that even on longer videos because every time that I go to watch a video now, I have to watch 3 ads just to get to the video. And there is no skip option. And I'm like, what? Is this their way of trying to like push people into paying more to like free you of ads? Or is this something that the creators are doing to, you know, bring more revenue in? Is there a reason? I need to know. I need to know because it happens more often than not. And then on top of it, like I love Bailey Sarian, but she's going to be what I use as an example right now. I love Bailey Sarian. Love her. And I love her Dark History podcast. But I have to watch 3 ads before I can even get into the podcast, which is about 45 minutes long, I believe. And then throughout that, I also will watch at least 3 or 4 more YouTube ads throughout the video. And then she herself does 3 or 4 sponsors within the video. And it is very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And I am like one of the most lax people on that because I'm a YouTuber. And I get it. Like sometimes ad revenue is just so low. Your like click per view is so low, and it's not your fault. It's just whatever's happening with YouTube and viewers and how many people are watching. Sometimes you need to put in a couple extra ads to try to keep up your AdSense, and I get that. So, you know, I'm sensitive to the cause, but this is just getting ridiculous. But on another side of it, another side of the coin, I'm seeing that creators are doing so many more sponsored content, and I'm loving it because people are giving them good responses back. Like, I know that it sucks to see someone do a sponsor about something that doesn't interest you, but try to keep it in your mind that it might interest other people, thousands of other people, you know? So, little ads, you know, or I don't like to do dedicated YouTube videos, but I will. I charge for those. Not enough, I know, but I don't like to do too many of them. But integrated ones I think are awesome. I think they're great, and I think that we deserve it as YouTubers because let me tell you, we do not get paid enough by YouTube. YouTube should be paying us thousands more than they do. They take like 90% of everything that we do for them. They're assholes, yeah.
You are the biggest piece of shit.
But I just wanted to know what you guys thought. Like, are you down for all the sponsors? Are you seeing all these ads? Are you getting the 3 ads before you can even get to the freaking video? And then there's still ads in the video too. And these are like 15-minute videos too. You know, like they're not long ones. And then with Bailey, with her 3 to 4 sponsors that she actually does, they're actually quite long ones. It's like, I skip through them if I can, but then I'm met with another YouTube ad that I can't skip off from. So it is getting a little excessive, I think, but I also kind of understand it, but I want your guys' opinions on what you think about it. Because I want, like, if you're not a YouTuber or a true viewer, like, tell me what you think about this, because I don't mind like the YouTubers doing sponsors, especially integrated ones, or I'll even click on a dedicated one if it's something I'm interested in because I want that coupon code for money off. Yes, but other than that, like I'm like kind of cocking my head at the YouTube side of it, not the sponsored side, the YouTube side, where why am I watching 3 ads that I can't skip through? Why? So that is everything we are going to talk about in today's chat spat because this is getting way, way too long. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And like I said, everything on me will all be linked and written down there. Subscribe if you haven't and want to see more chat spats. You guys can always give me topics you want discussed, you want to talk about, and it can be anonymous. You can email me or you can message me on any social platform and I will find it. I figured out the Instagram thing. I'll get it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I, of course, will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, I'll see you there. Bye, guys.